Hello everyone, my name is Feed Alligators and welcome to another video, and today we will be talking about why Cold War does not need to cost $70 and why I think it's kind of a bad business practice to sell new games at $70 per game. But before we get into that, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies content, along with some other content that I'm going to be putting out just with Call of Duty and consoles in general. Now, I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you who watch this video, who play Cold War, probably bought the Series X or S edition or the PS5 edition because it seems like a really good deal, considering if you're playing on current gen, you can just play it on next gen at no added cost. But is it really that good of a deal, considering it's $70 instead of the usual $60? In this scenario, not really, because as much as you think, well, I'm paying for it to have on two consoles, you're not really having it on two consoles, considering for both the PS5 and the Series X, you need to download it onto your console, and also the fact that you can't have it both on the One and on the X, because they specifically do that so that you can't just make copies of it and put it on different Xboxes and or PlayStations, so you can just keep constantly copying it and people can get the game for free. Now, we can bring up the whole debate about the fact that Cold War is not a finished game at all. It released with barely any multiplayer maps, one zombies map, and a 4-hour-long campaign. Granted, the campaign and zombies are pretty good. It's still not enough content to uphold the fact that this game costs $70, and it's fully priced either way. We should also talk about the fact that games in general, like, I know a lot of companies, EA, Activision, and Nintendo, are going to start releasing games for $70 because it's the new thing to do, I guess. Because they can justify it because games cost more to make, and because I guess they're on next gen, it just costs more money. But that really doesn't hold up when you take into consideration other things that have gone on in the video game market. Now, in the old days before digital, or not really digital, but the digital stores and stuff like that, you could really kind of justify the $60 price point. One, because you had to buy a physical disc, and two, because they would sell it at retailers like Best Buy and other things like that, so the stores got a certain percentage of the money, so you needed to sell it for higher if you or for more money if you wanted to make a profit on that. But it doesn't make any sense anymore, considering the fact that most games are bought digitally now, and that there's no cost involved digitally for getting the game out, other than the fact that, yes, you do have to make the game itself, but I wouldn't be so mad about this if Cold War didn't have DLC, or well, not DLC, but if it didn't have stuff that costed money on the game. See, most games, or at least games that had disc on it, normally didn't have really much added content, and if they did, it was a full DLC that was justified for spending a decent amount of money, especially if you look back at older Call of Duties, Black Ops 1, and World at War. The other DLCs costed money to get because, well, Zombies was kind of a brand new concept, and they didn't really know how to do it too much. Another thing that you have to take into consideration is the fact that most new games, or at least games released by EA that are $70, mainly 2K, you can buy stuff that gives you an advantage. So essentially, you are paying $70 for a new game that shouldn't cost $70, and also you have to buy added content that makes it better, or makes it easier for you to win, and make you have an advantage over other players. Now, I guess you could say there's a little bit of that involved in Modern Warfare and Cold War, just because if you don't unlock the guns, you kind of have to buy them from packs, or if you want to unlock them earlier than everyone and have an advantage, because most of the time, let's be honest, they purposely make the guns better when they first launch so that everyone rushes to get it, and then they gradually nerf it over time so that it's even with the other guns, and so that they can do the same thing over and over again every single season. And I know this really comes to a surprise to no one, but releasing a game on next gen doesn't cost $10 more for the company. It doesn't cost actually really anything more, because most of the time they make it for the Series X or S, or heck, even sometimes PC, and then they dumb it down for the current gen. Think about what they did for Black Ops 3, how they released the game on Xbox One and PS4, and then they downgraded it once they released it to the older gens, and they are probably just going to do the same thing as that, except for the fact that there hasn't really been a price increase like this in the video game industry for a very, very long time. While some companies do make it a point that video games cost more to make and that they have to do this in order to make a profit, they really don't. They can just do it because they can, because especially on stuff like Xbox or like Xbox exclusives and just console games in general, most of the time you can only buy discs that work on these, and Microsoft and Sony can selectively put games onto their console and make discs for them and stuff like that with the consent of them. So it's not like PlayStation. It's not like PC where you can just make any game and anyone can have it on any PC no matter what, because that's why prices haven't increased on PC, because, well, they don't need to, because they don't have as much of a hold as they do on consoles, because on consoles there's nothing else you can get. It's essentially price gouging, except kind of legal, I guess. And so with that, we will conclude the video. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment anything down below, such as what you thought of the video or future video ideas. And as always, I will see you all next time.